one thing I do know, son, and that is you are here for a reason.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. Let's play a game. You have to take financial advice from two distinct groups of people. You have to choose one group to take advice from. In the first group, you have smelly, eunuch Marxists who've never built or done anything with their lives and panic every single time the media tells them to. And in the second group, you have some of the most successful people on Earth who've built the most valuable companies on Earth, who are the most powerful people on Earth, and the richest as well. Which group are you going to go with? Now, if you are a committed lib whose only job it is to panic when the media tells you to, you obviously are going to listen to Tim Walz, who just got blown out running for vice president in 2024 election, stood on stage bragging about how low the Tesla stock was exactly 1 month ago today.
On my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone. They've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So.
Forget the fact that most of the pensions in Minnesota, the state that I'm the governor of, are invested in Tesla, and I'm celebrating the destruction of wealth for cops and nurses and state employees, including my own family. But also, you know how stupid this looks 1 month out? As Tesla is up now nearly 27%, 66 points, and is now trading at 320 at time of recording. Such a jackass. Donald Trump told everyone to chill out, don't be a panickin', and to buy stocks. And guess what happened, ladies and gentlemen, this morning? Oh, Tim Walz down bad. So why don't we check right here, financeyahoo.com at time of recording. Where are we? Wall Street's worst fears over Trump's trade war just faded. Trump and Xi will likely talk tariffs by the end of the week. Tesla up 7%. Look at these major gainers. Some stocks up 30%. Geez, 25, 24, 22. We have the Russell 2000 is up 3.5%. NASDAQ is up 4.5%. S&P 500 is up 3%. And the Dow is up nearly 3%. Just an absolute roaring market day. So I hope you didn't listen to Tim Walz. I hope you didn't listen to the panicans. Stock market goes berserker on China trade deal. S&P 500 set to wipe out all Liberation Day losses. Oh my. Stock market soared on Monday. Donald Trump dramatically sealed a trade deal with China. America will cut tariffs it imposed on Chinese imports down to 30%. Chinese levies on U.S. imports will fall to 10%. Wow, look who got the better end of that deal. This is effective for 90 days and will obviously instigate more cooperation. In response, the Dow Jones rocketed 1,000 points, or 2.5%. S&P 500 is up nearly 3%. Trump, this has erased all dips from the market crashing, and you just got to see Tesla. Tim Walz down freaking bad. The details of the deal have been locked in and have been bragged about by the president and his administration. Here's Carolyn Levitt. Thanks to the strength of President Trump and his trade deal, China is cutting their tariffs by 115%, taking aggressive actions to stem the flow of fentanyl and laying the groundwork for open markets American exports. This is a huge victory for the country. The details of the deal.
The U.S. goods trade deficit with China, it was $295 billion last year, a $5.8 20% increase from 2023. So just to go through kind of the fine points of what we got the details on this morning, the U.S. reduces from 125% reciprocal tariff on all Chinese goods down to 10%. China likewise reduces their retaliatory levy on goods to 10% from 125%. But that separate 20% tariff that Jamieson Greer talked about, again, is related to fentanyl. That stays in place until I'm assuming the Trump administration feels there's meaningful change. 90-day pause. Markets are celebrating this right now. Obviously, it would be nice to have, things in writing to have this actually put down.
Are markets celebrating? Yeah, markets are celebrating right now. Where are all the fools that said the tariff war was going to be a disaster, that there was going to be a Great Depression? Such jackasses. Donald Trump, we have achieved a total reset with China. This is the point.
In addition, yesterday we achieved a total reset with China after productive talks in Geneva. Both sides now agreed to reduce the tariffs imposed after April 2nd to 10% for 90 days as negotiators continue on the largest structural issues. And I want to tell you that a couple of things. First of all, that doesn't include the tariffs that are already on, that are our tariffs. And it doesn't include tariffs on cars, steel, aluminum, things such as that, or tariffs that may be imposed on pharmaceuticals, because we want to bring the pharmaceutical businesses back to the United States.
So this is what President Trump's other commentary was on today. Big Pharma. And equalizing the payments there, not having them take advantage of Americans. Best week of Trump 2.0 so far. U.S.-China trade deal, Russia-Ukraine meeting in Turkey, India-Pakistan ceasefire, last American hostage released by Hamas, pharma executive order, and Joe Biden is staring out a window. Art of the deal, U.S.-China Inc. trade deal. Here's a photo of Scott Bessent with his counterparts in Geneva. Scott Bessent was doing quite the victory lap this morning. Go home, you're drunk. Eric Swalwell takes credit for China-Trump trade deal. Just like I told you, Trump caves to China. Thank you. We went to town halls and town squares. We did this. Oh, really? Really, Eric? I want, what's going to be the first? What's going to be the first? Bang, bang, banger. There's something seriously wrong with you. How many comments of how fang fame is this going to be? Have you looked at the stock market, dipshit? Trump raised tariffs to force China to negotiate. It worked. Obtained leverage. Used leverage. That's business 101. You are an effing imbecile. The stock futures booming thanks to President Trump and his deal with China. The man who negotiated the deal, Scott Bessent, in Geneva, after productive talks in Geneva, both sides now agree to reduce their tariffs. Scott Bessent is out saying, yo, we are going to have some major, major changes here. And it's all for the good of this country. In fact, we had good changes in this country, but Joe Biden decided to walk away from an excellent trade deal that had been negotiated with China. Here's Scott Bessent, absolutely bodying Joe Biden.
What has to happen is it has to be fair for the American people. But in January 2020, President Trump produced a template. We had an excellent trade agreement with China, and the Biden administration chose not to enforce it. The Chinese delegation basically told us that once President Biden came into office, they just ignored their obligations. So, we all already have a large framework. The other thing to remember here, Jonathan, is that this is a pause down to 10%. The April 2nd level for China is 34%. So we will be working to see where their final reciprocal number ends up. And the negotiations are a combination of...
So he's saying that there was a great trade deal with China that the Biden regime refused to enforce. I wonder why. Same reason why Eric Swalwell is out chirping. Okay. Here's Scott Bessent on MSNBC this morning or actually CNBC this morning, talking about how if you are the country that has the deficit, you are in a better negotiating position, and that is what they took advantage of.
No sense of anxiety. There was a sense of moving forward. There was a sense of mutual respect. There was a sense that we had shared interests. But I have seen what's going on in the Chinese economy. We can see what's going on with the shipments to the U.S. And again, we are the deficit country. Historically, the deficit country has a better negotiating position.
So Scott Bessent, most improved player, I don't know. Like, is he the absolute star? Him and Marco Rubio, man, is he the absolute star of Trump term 2? Scott Bessent masterfully explains to Joe Scarborough what's going on with the trade deal between U.S. and China. Just don't listen to the dirty Marxists, okay? Don't listen to the dirty communists. That includes China, but also includes Tim Walz. And this is what life is going to look like going forward. Scott Bessent rings like a bell here, explaining what Trump's vision for trade with China actually will be.
Well, Joe, this is going to go where the president wants it to go. I was in touch with him over the weekend, and he wants free trade, free and fair trade. We've had free trade, and as you said, that has not worked for the American people. There's something called the China shock, which has gutted our manufacturing sector. And China has a different form of government for us. They have a different economic model where they subsidize labor, they subsidize capital goods, and they have exported that to us and the rest of the world. We have put up tariffs to push back on that, so it will be a matter of what is the equilibrium level on tariffs and also getting China to open their markets for American companies. Because China actually has a low tariff regime, but it is the non-tariff trade barriers that can be the most difficult to overcome. So we will be focusing on the non-tariff trade barriers and the subsidies, and the idea that China can become more open to American business, and the things that are sold into the U.S. Can not have the same level of subsidy. And no one wants to do a generalized decoupling, but we are going to do a strategic decoupling because we realized during COVID that efficient supply chains were not secure supply chains. So with steel, with semiconductors, with medicines, with a couple of other strategic categories, we are going to have to become self-reliant again.